small kids. And I am a little concerned about the wind turbines, so I was wanting to speak to you all this morning about that. First off, to kind of introduce myself, I'm a combat veteran. I served in the Navy from 99 until 2004 with deployment to Kuwait and Iraq. I'm a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree, and I'm also the wife of a farmer and the mother of the two small kids that I mentioned. The concerns that I have regarding the wind turbines, I feel like there was a lack of notification regarding the project. I understand that it was posted in the newspaper.
Repeatedly.
I'm sorry?
Repeatedly.
Okay. Which is, legally all that's required. However, in the digital age that we live in, I feel like there's probably not as many people that read the newspaper as would have in the past. So I understand that you guys are elected officials and that we have entrusted you to make the decisions for us in the best interests of the residents of Iowa County. And you can't ask us what we think about every project that comes across your table. But I feel like this was a pretty important one that has potential impacts to folks that even that don't sign up for the easements. So I feel like it could have been a little better communicated to the members of Iowa County. My second concern with them, with the wind turbines, is the energy efficiency of them. The research that I've read doesn't really support that they are that energy efficient and that it will be that beneficial for the residents of Iowa County, especially since none of that energy will remain in Iowa County for our residents.
Okay, that's another point that keeps getting thrown about, and I hate to interrupt you, but I just want to try and keep up. It keeps being said that this energy won't be used in Iowa County. I'd like to know who knows that. Because once the energy hits the grid, which this will hit the grid here, it goes to the nearest place that needs it. So Mid-America doesn't use their own energy, and Alliant doesn't use their own energy, and everybody else don't use their own energy. It goes into a big mass, and then it gets used. So no one knows where that energy goes, that it leaves the county. It could very well be used here.
Okay.
Okay.
Point taken.
That's my understanding, and I researched the electric grid because it's a complicated thing to say the least.
Sure.
I thought Mid-America did say that.
They did say.
No.
They were here and we have. We were here.
Told me that at the first meeting in
We have it on video.
that it was not going. Probably, most likely, the energy would not stay in this county. It would go elsewhere, probably out of the I was told that by Energy at their very first meeting.
And Janie asked Mid-American when they were here, and we have it on video as well, because we looked back at the files and found it.
No one knows exactly where it goes. That's the bottom line.
We're going off what the company told us.
I am too, but they told me. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, sure. So the other thing that's concerning is that there is a non-disclosure agreement that all of the landowners that signed the easements then are unable to discuss any issues. It waives their right to a trial by jury, which I guess kind of the fact that that even is in their contract is a bit concerning. Last but not least, kind of where my heart lies is the medical issues that have come up regarding people that live close to the wind turbines. The various symptoms, anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances, hypertension, heart disease, panic attacks, hearing loss, ringing in the ears. I understand that there's not a medical study that proves that these symptoms are related to the wind turbines. However, even if this is just related to, even if all of these symptoms are in these folks' heads, the mental health of the residents of Iowa County should be just as important as their physical health. My hope in coming here today and expressing my concerns to you is that you would move forward with the ordinance that would prevent a turbine from being placed a half mile from a non-participating landowner's property lines. I don't believe that a half mile is enough because it sounds like the sounds can be heard for multiple miles, the flicker can be seen for multiple miles. But if a half mile is what I'll settle for, that's better than having it 1,500 feet from my house. The other thing that I would hope to a vote any future projects. There's been kind of some rumors about a second project that may be coming up near the Parnell North English area. And I think it would be reasonable for the members of Iowa County, the residents of Iowa County, to vote whether or not that would be something that we are interested in. Thank you for your time.
That's not even something we can put on a ballot. Right now, there is no plans for any other project that we have any aware of, and if it is, it's definitely not Mid-America involved in it.
Is that something that would have to go through the Board of Supervisors? Should they want to do another project?
Yeah, anything after this Diamond Trail project, which, unfortunately, in my opinion, the Diamond Trail project is poorly named because it's nowhere near the Diamond Trail, but when you hear it, you think, well, I live on the Diamond Trail. Well, you don't live near this. Just like in Powashik County, there's the North English Wind Project. It's nowhere near North English, so to me, that causes a lot of confusion with people, because you say, well, Diamond Trail, well, I live on Diamond Trail. North English, I live in North English. Neither of those projects are near either of those places. So I don't know how they named them, but I guess some might be kind of like when people name their kids. Sometimes you wonder where they get that name, so I don't know. But, yes, thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Steve Rogers from Wellman, far southeast corner of Main Township. Made this model I brought today out of my own expense and time. I'm an engineer by background, mechanical, and took great pains to do what research I could with what time I had to represent what would be approximately a 600-foot wind turbine, 180 meters. I did find one on the Vestas website that was right exactly at that, so that's kind of what I went by. Made the other, the display next to it to HO train scale. It's convenient. What you see here is 1/87th scale because of the locomotive. So the turbine represents to the very top 180 meters, 590 some feet. The water tower made a couple calls to Williamsburg and to Wellman, got an approximate height, went to a website to find a profile, and that represents 125 feet. The small windmill, theirs would be seen traditionally, is approximately 67 feet, a 40 by 60 building, 25 feet tall next to a 40-foot tree, and the locomotive is 15 foot and some inches tall, 59 feet long. To represent, give a visual indication for all of you and Iowa County residents, anybody else who wants to see, this is what it looks like up close and personal. There also is on there some small figures. If you look at the display representing people, it would be anywhere 5 to 6 feet tall. These things are massive, they're gigantic. They are machines, they wear out, they do have issues, and everybody here is aware that getting rid of these things someday will be a problem to be solved by somebody. And that's something we need to remember too. So I brought this today to just to give a perspective on how large of scale that we're dealing with here. So appreciate if you have a closer look. I'll leave it here as long as we need to. Again, I did this in my own research, my own expense, and made it as accurately as I can using 25 plus years of engineering experience.
Pretty impressive you were able to take the train and then work everything backwards to scale forward. Not something I could have done.
Oh, thank you. And I will only add that I'd much rather be spending my time feeding my family instead of doing something like this, but I thought it's necessary, and unfortunately here we are. So appreciate your consideration to get the ordinance passed, get some good policies put in place regarding this. I think this Diamond Trail thing is I'm in agreement with so many others. It was done without enough public input. Sure, if the minimum was done for public notice, that's one issue. but there could have been a broader effort to collect information from the county residents and see if we're at. You have to remember, too, I have researched alternative energy as such for 30 years. I'm a great proponent of it. Wind energy, alcohol, and so forth, if it makes sense. And time and again, I've come to the conclusion that alternative energy, wind energy, beginning back in the 20s and 30s with the wind chargers, 32 volts DC, makes sense only for individuals who want to live off grid. It's very expensive, and it doesn't make sense unless that is your goal, to live off grid and have a backup energy source for the individual. A project of this scope, we all know it's paid by taxpayers to a great degree, may or may not get a return on it, and that's the conclusion I've drawn. Is if you want to live off grid, have a wind turbine, and it can be pretty small for the individual, but the batteries, the infrastructure, it's horribly expensive. But if your goal is to live off grid, maybe it makes sense. So in this case, looking at all the facts that I can gather, these things make no sense. And it's unfortunate that others are convinced they do, but time will tell, and I think it's a mistake for Iowa County.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Paula Watkins, and I live a couple miles from Williamsburg. Two issues. One, I'm a scientist, a health professional, and the research I've looked at basically comes to the conclusion that there has not really been good research done on wind turbines. So I was just wondering if you have scientific peer-reviewed journal articles that someone has reviewed as far as is there enough evidence to show there are not negative health effects with wind turbines? Did anyone review those articles?
There is a comprehensive peer-reviewed article that was done partially at the University of Iowa that is out there, yes.
Can you give us that reference?
We have it on our website, I think, as a reference on the county's website.
Okay. Just the one reference then?
That's the one. We actually got it off of Pelshey County's website because they were using it over there. So.
What?
Okay.
Who paid for it?
Okay.
We did?
No, I don't know.
Oh. Who paid for the study is your question.
It was done by MIT and University of Iowa, I think, and some other places, so I would guess government money.
Because I looked at some systematic reviews and said there really wasn't any good research. The reason there's so much testimonials is because the research really wasn't done.
I know this came out like first of this year.
Okay.
But it is on our website, and yeah, I'd be interested if you looked it over, and
Okay.
if you had comments, that'd be great.
Okay. And then the second part is if we have an ordinance, I would encourage that maybe there's an escrow account for decommissioning.
There is. There's going to be for this project, too.
Okay.
Decommissioning is all at the expense of Mid-America.
Okay. Thank you.
Have you guys made that agreement yet?
It's in the process. Last time I knew it was at the attorneys, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just as we have the road agreement, I don't know if that's 100% finished or not, or being discussed.
No, we're still working on
But
it, right?
that, you know, the damage to the roads is taken care of by the windmill company. Money is placed with us in advance to cover that also, and that's
so
what a lot of businesses do.
is that signed already, the road agreement?
No, we're still working on it.
I think there's just a couple of points that we were still discussing. Is that right, Nick?
That's correct. Yep.
But
Yep.
for the
We had
majority-
a quick meeting yesterday, and I think all the points have been agreed upon. We just have to kind of write it up a little bit different. We'll have a version for you guys in a week or two.
Have they used any roads yet? Like cement, like Manats or anybody that's doing some of the work?
No.
Okay.
It won't. I mean, they're not allowed to use the roads until we have the agreement as far as for oversized loads or heavy loads, right?
That's correct.
And just so I'm clear, so you said there's money in account too for the roads.
There will be.
There will be. Okay, so
Bond.
are they because my understanding was that they hired their own people to take care of the roads, right? Or are they putting money in our county people are taking care of the roads?
No, it's it's like a bond where, they don't directly write us a check. But we will not be directly taking care of the roads.
So what's the money for?
That if
If they
hold
don't.
up on their end, and then I have to come in and step in and then hire somebody and pay for it, then we take it out of there. Or if we have to step in and do anything above and beyond the agreement, then yeah, I can take it out of.
Do you have to go through some kind of litigation process to take the money out, or is it just like, you guys violated this, here's your notice, and I'm gonna do this?
To get that's gonna be more of a Lou issue on how to get a hold of the bond money. I mean, I don't have, it'll be more of a lawyer deal.
Okay.
Nick, what have you found out from, I know you had engineers conference 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I'm sure roads and windmills probably got discussed, if not
I asked everybody I could.
unofficially. And what are the feelings from other engineers around the state on how the roads get left and if the
Well,
process works?
it was mostly, there've been a lot of people that have done it. And I think Nick with Adair, they're on their 5th round or so. And the guy I sat next to all day, they're already started their first one this summer. He says everything's going well. You know, everybody's got little kind of tweaks and twerks, just whatever. But for 95% of it, everything was good.
And have they already,
That amount of money that's allowable in the bond?
We did agree on a bond price, yes.
and have they already evaluated the roads, done that? 'Cause you said something about a third-party engineer coming through,
Did it
and
Monday.
they did it on Monday. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
That was done by third-party engineering.
Snyder. So they went around and they took videos of all the roads. I sent a crew out from our office to also videotape the paved roads. I have not reviewed the footage
Mhm.
of what they did.
But the company doing it, an engineering company we've worked with a lot.
Snyder, yeah, I don't know if I've worked with this branch of Snyder before.
We've worked with Snyder.
But then they did their gravel road review, and I had 2 of our guys. It was like a 3-day process. I had 2 of our guys follow him around for a day, and they said what he was writing up seemed to match what they thought pretty well, and
we're also being reimbursed for administrative costs, right?
yes. Yes.
But is that something where you have to fill out the form and submit it to Mid-America,
No.
and they in
No.
turn?
No, they're gonna write me a check next week or the week after.
For anticipated administrative costs.
And then anything above and beyond anticipated, could possibly be more money too, but I don't foresee that happening. You know, I don't foresee us having to, you know, if a bridge falls in, you know, God forsake, or something like that, where we can do something above and beyond, we will be compensated additionally as well, but, you know, we hope that doesn't happen. We're just covering ourselves there on the backside so that if something does happen, we don't have to spend a year doing engineering work with that.
How frequently will bridges be inspected for damage?
Like, will it increase with the increased traffic?
No, it won't. Calhoun Burns did our bridge inspections, most of them this spring. They have been now notified of the haul route. They have been notified of the anticipated traffic count. or will be, the guy's out of the office right now. Any specialized loads too, they will get calculations on axle weights, axle spacings, and load frequencies. So any of their input, will go toward the haul route if we have to find, go a mile around or whatever. And let's put it this way, that's what Jeff at Calhoun Burns does for a living, and he's very conservative. So, that's good and bad. If you see an embargo that you don't like, because now you gotta drive around, it's because he's too conservative, but you get the idea, it makes it safe.
Good.
Anybody else? We got like 4 minutes left here? Yes.
I just had a question. I talked to an attorney this week, and he was actually not opposed to wind turbines. But he said he was having a hard time believing that, leaving out the bats, protection for the bats and the eagle's nest was a clerical error. He said, you had your attorney review it, you five were supposed to review it, they were supposed to review it, you had all these people review it, and yet there was a clerical error.
I'm not, John, what?
Still hasn't been fixed yet.
It's the same as what they gave us at the beginning, and I think what everybody's referring to in the end is a different sheet that they had. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but this is the one that we had all along.
So Invenergy gave you that to make the ordinance with?
No, that is a copy of what Invenergy has to meet
For
Mid-America
Mid-America.
standards.
Okay.
So,
But you didn't change it any. You left it the same.
So
Yeah,
there's,
That,
And that's not the sheet, actually, it's the sheet that Mid-American and Invenergy handed out to us, which I forwarded to Ray and gave him. And it said this was what, and even in the top of it, it says this is what they agreed to with the county. And you guys had moved or made a motion or resolution to use that in your agreement with them, and then those three things, the bats, eagle's nest, and then it said all major rivers, which would include the English River, and they would have a 3-mile setback for the English River too then, which is not on the Diamond Trail Agreement, and there are 3 turbines for sure planned within 3 miles of the English River. So are you going to fix the clerical error or no?
No.
Why not?
Are you kidding me?
so you're not gonna have
I'm
any
not sure.
protection.
If you go back to the videos that you take, when we handed that sheet out, we never said that was going to be in the agreement, so go back and check.
Okay.
This
When
is
I
something,
talked to the
this
board
is
of
something,
supervisors,
Quiet, please, while he talks.
this is something that you keep bringing up. We said this isn't a private agreement between Invenergy and Mid-America.
Yeah.
We never said this is what is an agreement between our companies and the county.
But these are
Okay,
being
and
met.
that, you have video of that. Go
So
ahead and
so
find
you're
it.
saying it's between Mid-American and them, not between you, is what you're trying to get across?
It's between Mid-American and Invenergy. Yes, that sheet that we
But
handed.
that sheet is being followed, is that correct?
this is,
Between our companies, yes.
But how is it being followed when there's 3 turbines within 3 miles of a river when it says all major rivers? How's that? There's 3.
I'm not gonna answer your question. I'm answering for these folks.
Because you don't want to.
because that's not what.
No, what I understood is you, not them, you said it was a clerical error and it would be fixed.
Yeah,
I thought maybe
and
you
that
were.
was a mistake to say that, because that wasn't.
I wasn't part of the agreement.
He wasn't
I just
in
thought
on
it
it,
was
so he was
clearly
wrong when
defined.
he said that. Because this was the original one that I got, and this
So
is
you're
still the
saying
same
it
one.
was your five intention to leave out protection for eagle's nest, bats, and English River. That's your intention as supervisors of our
No,
county. You
I
don't want any protection in there for
That
national
would not be a
resources.
fair way to state.
Well, tell me then, because why aren't you putting it in? If they're doing
They've
it
got the
anyway,
agreement.
if they're doing it anyway, what's the problem with putting it in there?
If they're doing it anyway, why does it need to be in there?
Well, why have an agreement at all then? Just let them do whatever they want and call it good. There's a reason you put it in there, so that it's clearly stated, So everybody knows the rules and everybody follows, and even your best siting practices, John, from the Iowa Environmental Council says everything should be laid out and clear so everybody understands.
And it is, it's right here.
It's not in there.
There's no protection in there for
And
bats
that's
or
what we
eagles.
have.
Bats and eagles are not mentioned in there at all that I can see.
They're not mentioned in there.
Why?
Okay, we got-
That's my question.
And we originally, I will say,
I'd like to know why. Tell me why. Why don't you want to protect the bats and eagles and our natural resources in Iowa County? Why? I would like an answer from all of you.
I feel like they are protected.
They are
so-
protected between the agreement between the two companies. Now, why is not, what was put in the agreement, I don't know, I wasn't part of that, so.
Yeah.
John, why do you want it left out of the agreement? Kevin, Bruce, Vicki, tell me why.
Yeah.
but you get, but,
You have a permit for incidental take.
But you don't understand the permit.
I've read it online.
Okay, but what does it apply to?
Their permit applies to incidental take
Where?
of eagles in the United States.
Right. That's why they have to have a permit.
But Mid-American had to go get a permit, or supposed to get a permit,
Yes. For
individually.
For incidental taking.
Right.
And that covers the nationwide projects.
And the recommendation by the Iowa DNR is a 5-mile setback from an active eagle's nest, and you have nothing in your agreement at all.
And DNR's enforcement, they have no
They
legislative.
don't have enforcement for eagles.
Right.
They don't cover the eagles.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You wanted to comment, then we've got to move on.
I just wanted to point out that you said that the MIT and U advised that it was on the website, it's not.
and that was funded by the IEC, the Iowa Environmental Council, which just released a statement recently about how they want to push for more wind energy in the United States.
It's under there, is that where it's under?
Yeah.
And we do need to move on, but I will also say that as of this morning, the official map of this project is on our website,
How many turbines?
less than 78.
There's 86.
70.
There's 86 on there.
Not 86. How do you know that?
Someone counted them. Someone just counted them and told me.
Who counted them?
I
There's
don't-
86
You know
on
that
there,
there's
yes.
alternatives on there in case one
Okay,
doesn't
we're not
work out.
fighting between people, right?
What?
Well, no, you tell us.
I'm just saying that there's 86.
86. And
I
there's
asked
a
you-
letter that goes along to explain that, and that is not published yet because Jessica did not have time to get everything on. I got delayed due to a personal emergency this morning, and it is coming. It explains that there is 78 or less, and the rest are just backups in case they come across a spot that is not workable. That there is not going to be more than 78. I believe that's what it says. And we will ask Mid-America to clarify that at 11:30, so.
Right.
But yes, there's 86 on there.
But there's not gonna be 86.
And the email they sent us said 85, and I got a correction to that email a minute later saying, whoa, typo, that should say 86. So, that they are not all being built on.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, last week when you said it was confirmed, there was 88 being built, I don't know who confirmed that, but it was not true.
The FAA confirmed that, but then I also
That's
said,
only a permit. They have no idea where
can
they're
can I please talk?
No, you can't.
I,
Because the time is expired.
I
And
also
all you
said-
do is put out false information, just like last week when you said I have a confirmed source that says there's phase 2 already under construction.
Blattner Energy.
Hey,
Blattner
Rick,
Energy.
slam the gavel on that. You shouldn't be talking to her like that.
Number one, Blattner Energy has told two of us. Blattner Energy has told two of us there is the second project for Iowa County. Number two, yesterday after talking to Mid-American, or 2 days ago, I did post. So if you want to criticize me for what I post, read everything. Because I did post that Mid-American I spoke to said there will be 78 turbines. So don't criticize me when I updated that, when I got the information.
Right, you did say there's a second phase confirmed, but yet nobody knew where it was or how many turbines or.
Well, you don't know.
We don't know.
But
Yeah.
I'm just being transparent.
Move up.
You put it on as confirmed confirmed.
Blattner Energy
that
says,
was-
confirmed it with me, and
I would
another
only
person.
add that,
Nobody's-
The second meeting I've ever been to for the supervisors, and my impression here is that there's a lot of information missing. Those of us who are trying to find information are looking wherever we can get it, and it's not coming from the board as much as I would like to see it. So I am frustrated.
Because anytime we put information out, then suddenly it's that we're lying. You
I'm
could
not
go,
saying
you could
that.
go on the wind energy website and find that there's one person that called us a liar every day this week.
I'm not
But what did we lie
calling you a liar.
about?
You
I'm
just told
looking
me
for
that the
information.
MIT U of I study was on the website and it's not.
Now you know what President Trump feels like.
I'm just saying, as elected officials, we like to see.
It's referenced on the website with a link to it, under the environmental council stuff.
I don't need that.
And I spoke with John, and John, you did tell me that the Eagles and the English River were gonna be protected,
They're
and that it's not.
federally protected.
Not the English
No,
River.
they're
They're,
not. No, they're not.
By Fish and Wildlife.
they're protected by U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Until you buy a permit to kill
They're
them.
not protected by setbacks, there's
Until
no
you buy a permit
setbacks.
to kill them, yes.
There's no setbacks in the
Right.
US Fish and Wildlife, no
Yes,
setbacks.
and if you go to the wind turbine and health, what's it called on here? The, Iowa Environmental Council wind turbine information, that health study is referenced and has links to it, and it is summarized. So yes, it is there.
How do I get to that? I'm at quick links, I'm not finding that.
Go to Board of Supervisors agenda,
Okay,
and then at the top of that, there will be something in yellow that says, click here to be taken to wind energy information kit.
thank you.
You bet. And that's where we're gonna we put the map on this morning. The email that went with it is going on as soon as Jessica has time. And, any information